Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Coming Home to Yourself podcast. I'm your host, Vanessa, and here we'll dive into everything healing, mindset, confidence, manifestation, and how to become your most empowered self, aka coming home to yourself. In today's episode, we're going to talk about something that every single one of us has experienced, which is pain. And pain is one of the most powerful forces in life, if you didn't know. It can break you, it can define you, and it can fuel you. It can make you feel lost, empty, and defeated, or it can become the very thing that pushes you to rise higher than ever before. But here's what most people don't realize. Pain itself is not the enemy. The suffering, the hardship, the heartbreak, the failures, they don't destroy you. What destroys you is what you choose to do with it. Just like with everything else in life, it's not what happens to you, it's how you react to it. Pain has two paths. You can let it consume you, let it turn into bitterness, self-doubt, and fear. Let it keep you small, fragile, stuck in the same cycles, or you can let it forge you into something greater. Let it become your fuel, your lesson, your fire. Let it shape you into the strongest, most powerful version of yourself, right? And this is the choice you make every single day. So today, we're going to dive into how to stop letting pain define you and start using it as your greatest source of power. So, the reason why so many people stay stuck in their pain is because they believe that pain is something happening to them. Why is this happening to me? Why does life keep testing me? Why do I always get hurt? Why do bad things always happen to me? But pain is not your punishment. Pain is your awakening. You just don't realize it yet. Pain is the shattering of illusions, the breaking down of false realities, the removal of what no longer serves you. It's the universe basically saying, you cannot stay here. You cannot stay the same. You have to get out of your comfort zone. You need to grow. You need to become and do better. Pain is not here to break you down. It's here to break you open. All right? And once you realize that, honey, the game is on. Let me tell you a little metaphor how I always see it. Pain is like fire. It can destroy or it can transform. It can turn a forest into ashes, or it could mold gold into something stronger, right? So think about a blacksmith forging a sword. The raw metal is put into fire, heated to extreme temperatures, and hammered over and over, which is reshaping it, and then it's being cooled into something sharper, stronger, more powerful. Okay? Or you can also just simply think of something easier, like a muscle when you're training in the gym, right? What happens? You tear it. Tiny microscopic tears happen in the fibers of your muscle, and then it heals back stronger, right? That's how it grows. That's exactly how pain works as well. It breaks you, only to rebuild you better and stronger than before. But here's the catch: only if you let it. Some people go through pain and stay broken. They never allow the healing, the rebuilding, the transformation to happen in the first place. So what they do is they stay in victimhood, but others, they rise from it. They use every ounce of pain as raw material to become someone new, someone stronger, someone unstoppable, to start coming home to themselves, right? Start finding back to themselves. And the choice at the end of the day, it's yours. Because, as I always say, it always starts within you. So pain will either make you or break you. And the difference comes down to how you choose to interpret it. Let's say you have a victim mindset. So you see pain as something unfair, something meant to punish you. You constantly replay the hurt, the betrayal, the disappointment, and you keep yourself living in the past. Or you blame others, the world, or even yourself, but you just simply don't move forward, right? Or you believe your past defines you just because you were abandoned, hurt, rejected, or failed like everybody else did, but you believe you will always have to carry that identity. Now, on the other side, we have the power mindset. So there you see pain as a tool, as a teacher, as a force for growth. You acknowledge what hurt you, but you refuse to let it control you, right? You own up to who you hurt with your actions, your words, your behaviors without guilt tripping yourself, and you keep on doing it better. Okay? You ask, what can I learn from this? Instead of, why did this happen to me? What is it showing me? Instead of, why did this happen to me? You take full ownership of your healing and of your future, no matter what happened in the past. That's the difference. And the biggest shift you can ever make in life is moving from asking, why did this happen to me, to what is this trying to teach me? That little mindset shift in everyday life could already make such a huge difference for you. Because the truth is, your pain is a gift, but only if you choose to unwrap it, right? And I also believe that you do not always have to go through pain to grow or have these huge leaps. And I'm going to bring up something my mentor Diana always says, which is that people only grow from going through two different things. One is intense pain, and the other is immense pleasure. And this brings me back to my episode on duality, where we talked about how not all transformation has to come from suffering, right? There's highs, but there's also lows. But there cannot be a constant, meaning there cannot only be lows, right? Neither can it be only highs. And while, yes, pain can be a powerful catalyst for growth, but so can be immense pleasure. Duality exists in every experience we have. Just like you can learn resilience from hardship, you can also learn expansion from joy. And that's what a lot of people tend to forget in their everyday life problems. And the problem here is most people are conditioned also to only take the painful route because they believe growth must come from struggle. But what if you allowed yourself to grow from your highest moments too? What if success, fulfillment, and abundance, all of those great things could shape you just as much as adversity, as suffering, as pain, as hurt? Because you are not meant to just endure as a human, right? We experience everything, meaning you are also meant to enjoy. And the real mastery of duality is not just surviving the lows, but also fully embracing and expanding through the highs. Because a great fuel for growth and pushing through is intense pain. But the only thing that's driving us humans even more and lets us quantum leap even quicker is love, which is positive, right? Which is a good thing. So I want you to just keep that in mind while we're talking about rising from the lows only today, okay? Now, I want you to think about the people who inspire you the most. The ones who radiate confidence, strength, resilience, right? The ones that have built extraordinary lives that you look up to. Do you think they got there because life was easy for them? Certainly not. They got there because life broke them, but they refused to stay broken, right? Every successful, powerful person you look up to has been through different kinds of things. Most of them you have experienced yourself as well, like heartbreak that should have destroyed them, poverty and danger that should have killed them, failure that should have made them quit, betrayal that should have made them close their heart forever, moments where they felt like giving up on everything because nobody believed in them, right? But they didn't let it define them. They took the pain and they used it as fuel to build something greater. Imagine. And that same power is not only for them, that same power exists within you as well, right? So, why do still so many people struggle to turn their pain into power? Why are there still so many people letting themselves be controlled by their victim mindset? And why do they keep using the blame game rather than taking accountability for themselves and grow and move outside of their comfort zone? Well, that's because pain, obviously, is comfortable. Even when it's destructive, it's like a toxic relationship. You're so familiar with them, you love them so much that you're blinded, even though you know they are hurting you. You're staying. And how do we say so beautifully? Shit is literally warm and soft. So people rather stay there. People are comfortable in it, right? Some people also hold on to pain because they don't know who they are without it. Other people hold on to pain because it gives them an identity. Like, I am the one who was hurt. I am the one who has an unbeatable illness. I am the one who has done nothing but be good to other people, but all I'm getting is negative, is bad, right? Some people also hold on to pain because they don't believe they deserve to be free from it genuinely, right? There are literally some of you who think that they deserve to be treated a certain way, to be going through certain experiences because of the way that they were conditioned growing up, or that they were simply treated as a child. And your suffering becomes a home. And even though it's a toxic, suffocating home, it's familiar to you. You know it. You know it very well, right? You're so used to it. And since growth and stepping outside of your comfort zone is unfamiliar and uncertain territory, and it does involve courage to step outside of it, that's exactly what keeps people in cycles of self-sabotage, resentment, avoidance, all the things, right? But you have to make the conscious decision to step out of that identity. Only you can do it. Other people can make you aware of it a million times around. But as we always say, you can bring the horse to the pond, but only the horse can decide to drink from it itself. You cannot force it. And what you need to know here as well is you are not what happened to you. As cliche as it sounds, you are not what happened to you. You are what you decide to become after it. So if you choose to stay the same, then you are what happened to you. You know what I mean? But if you choose to become different, you are not it. So again, it's not on others, no matter what happened to you or what you went through, it happened. You can't change the past, but you can change yourself now. So why don't you choose yourself now? Then there's also something most people never realize about pain. And it's not just an experience. It's not just something you survive, right? Pain holds a hidden power. And it's a power that only those who are willing to face it, sit with it, and move through it will ever get access to. Because pain isn't just about suffering. It's about unlocking a deeper part of you that comfort and ease could never touch. It's that simple. So think about it. When you are comfortable, you don't challenge yourself, right? And every time you try to challenge yourself, you run the other direction. You just run away from it. You find an excuse and you're done with it, right? So you did not actually challenge yourself. You just felt the feeling of challenging yourself and that fear that comes with it, right? But you didn't actually go through with it. So you are comfortable. Then, when you are at peace, you don't question things, right? Everything is red and rosy and everything is perfect, everything is fine, but you do not question things because nothing's wrong, right? Then, when everything in life is smooth and easy, you don't push past your limits. You think you're good, right? You just stay the same again. But when you're hurting, when life rips you open and throws you into the fire, that's when you meet a part of yourself you've never met before. Because pain forces you to ask the hardest questions. Who am I when everything is falling apart? Who am I when no one is there to save me? Who am I when I have nothing left to hold on to but myself? And the version of you that emerges from that She is not fragile. She's not breakable. She's not afraid, right? If you choose to go forth with the correct answers to these questions. Because again, duality, your confidence, your self-security, how solid you are within yourself, it all shows during the lows, right? Remember that. I do not give a crap how confident and how great you are during the highs, during the great times. Because what matters is who you are when everything goes to shit, when you lose everything, when life keeps throwing you challenge after challenge, when you are just so done with life that you think you cannot go forth anymore. Who are you then? That's when it matters the most. And that's what people still don't understand, and why I teach women what I do and what I teach, because it's simply, at the end of the day, it's simply a mindset shift which leads to different actions, right? So again, who am I when everything is falling apart? Who am I when no one is there to save me? Who am I when I have nothing left to hold on to but myself? And pain feels like destruction, but really it's transformation. It rips away the parts of you that were weak, the parts that were built on illusions, the parts that were still living in fear. So think about a person who's never been through hardship. They don't know their strength yet. They've never been tested, never been forced to grow, never been confronted with the deepest parts of themselves. Now think about a person who has survived hell and made it out the other side. They don't question if they can survive hard things because they've already done it. They've already proved it to themselves. They don't crumble as easily or at all under pressure because they've been through much worse. They don't let fear control them because they've already faced the darkness and they have won, right? They have risen from it. So pain isn't just something you go through. It's the fire that refines you, that shapes you, right? And the version of you that you thought was your limit, the one who thought she couldn't handle certain things, the one who was afraid to take risks, she is gone. And what's left is someone unshakable, right? If you choose to. Because maybe you have gone through these things, these type of things, but you haven't grown from them because you're still stuck in your victim mindset, because you haven't properly healed, because you haven't chosen to have that mindset shift yet, right? And there's a strength that only those who have walked through fire will ever understand. And it's not arrogance, it's not false confidence, it's not pretending to be tough, but rather it's a deep knowing. A knowing that says, no matter what happens, I will not break. Because when you've survived your worst days, you stop fearing anything life throws at you. And that's when you truly move from the highest frequency, right? That's when you truly operate from the highest frequency. It's not love and light and only remaining positive, which people teach a lot, right? But remember again what I said in the episode on duality, or even before in today's episode. It's about how you move through your lows and how solid you are during those times, which determines where you will be going next and what you will keep on attracting next. Because if your mindset is, no matter what happens, I will not break, that is solid as fuck. So you stop holding back because of fear, because you have already faced worse, right? You stop playing small because you've seen what happens when you shrink yourself. You stop settling for less because you know your worth. And pain strips away every illusion you once had about yourself. And what's left? Someone who doesn't need approval. Someone who doesn't need permission. Someone who is no longer afraid of her own power, of her own potential, right? Because there's also other types of women or people overall who simply keep themselves small and in pain because they are scared of the actual potential that they see within themselves, right? Because there's not enough self-trust there. Once you've walked through fire, you realize nothing can burn you anymore. So, another thing is, most people just stop at survival, right? So they go through pain, they come out the other side, and they think that's it. But survival is not the goal. You are not here just to survive your pain. You are here to transcend it, to rise above it, to create something from it, to turn into something so powerful, so unstoppable that no one, including yourself, will ever doubt you again. Because if pain didn't break you, nothing ever will. Because you will have built that solid self-trust, that solid self-belief, and that self-confidence needed to move through every single time. Pain activates something inside you. It either activates your fear, which will be keeping you small, weak, and stuck, or it activates your fire, which will be pushing you to transform, grow, and take control of your life. But the problem is, most people never let it activate them. They stay in cycles of replaying the past, refusing to move forward, letting past betrayals make them closed off to love, letting past failures make them afraid to try again, letting past betrayals make them not trust anyone anymore, or not fully anymore. Letting past pain convince them that happiness, success, and peace aren't meant for them, right? And that's how pain wins. That's how you lose yourself. That's how you move away from your core self more and more, the bigger your conditioning in that sense is. But you are here to break that cycle. You are here to turn every ounce of pain into raw, unstoppable power. And that's why I teach what I teach. And instead of letting pain define you, you can use it to redefine yourself. So, who do I want to become because of this, right? You let it rebuild yourself. So, how can this make me stronger instead of weaker? You let it refocus your energy. So, what can I create, change, or build from this? Because pain is not your identity, it is your launch pad. And every single person who has turned pain into power has made one choice. They stopped seeing themselves as the victim of their pain and started using it as the force that fuels them forward, right? That is how they became extremely successful no matter what area they let it flow into. And now it's your turn. What you need to understand and take away from here is that your pain does not make you weak. Your pain does not make you broken. And your pain is your greatest catalyst for transformation. But you have to choose to use it. Because if you don't, you let it use you. And that is the difference between letting pain keep you small versus letting pain make you limitless, which you are. Letting pain shut you down versus letting pain open you up, cracking you open, right? Letting pain break you versus letting pain build you. You have the right to rewrite the way you see yourself, rewrite the book that is you. Because as long as you keep identifying with the pain, you will keep manifesting it as well. You will keep repeating the same lessons, keep attracting the same cycles, keep experiencing the same patterns until you decide to break it and release it. And that release, it starts with a choice. You do not owe your past self anything. You do not have to stay small because of what happened to you. You do not have to carry the weight of that story anymore. You are allowed to step into a new version of yourself, the version of you that is strong, grounded, healed, and unstoppable. The version of you that doesn't let pain define her. She lets it fuel her. And that version of you, she's already within you. She's already inside of you. And you just have to step into her. You already have everything you need to turn your pain into power. And the only thing left to do here is to decide. Choose. And if you've been wanting to put in 100% effort into yourself, then the Coming Home to Yourself community is where it's really at. This is your space to dive deeper into everything we talk about here: healing, mindset, confidence, and embodiment, with exclusive content and unlimited resources, live sessions, and a supportive group of like-minded women who are all on their journey of coming home to themselves. If you are ready to go all in on yourself and your growth, this is your chance to join my world. You can find all the details in the link I'll leave you down below and on my Instagram. I cannot wait to see you inside. And with that being said, I'm your host Vanessa. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode of the Coming Home to Yourself podcast. Bye!